All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Jeremy Rancic. I'm the president of the Red River Gorge Climbers Coalition. Thank you for joining us today as we host our annual open meeting. I'm going to do a quick introductions of the board of directors. Just going to sort of read off names and let you know who we have on the call with us here from the board. And then I'll go through the agenda. So Jake Ellis is our vice president. Brianna Blanchard is our secretary. Matt Fronek is treasurer. Curtis Gale Dyer is our land manager. John Bruns is on our access committee, chairs our access committee. Nick Hart is the chair of our fundraising committee. Adam Gregory is a board member at large on several committees. Colin Howell is our director of communications. He's also chairs the marketing communications committee and is on a couple other committees. Sam North, board member at large, also on several committees. And then we've got Billy Simic, our executive director. So, meeting agenda. So we did some quick introductions there. I'm going to go through our mission and our strategy, talk a little bit about how the board is structured and how we use committees to accomplish our goals and objectives, what our strategic focus is for 2020. Then I'll turn it over to Billy to do a membership update. I'm also going to ask Billy to give a high-level review of the economic impact study results, which were redone in 2020 and announced earlier in the middle of 2021. Then I'll ask each of the committee chairs to give us an update on their respective committees, including access acquisitions, conservation stewardship, education, DEI, fundraising, etc. Nick will go through and run through a list of some of our major donors and sponsors and offer a bit of acknowledgement. We'll go through some important updates, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. So with that, I'm going to move to our mission. So the Red River Gorge Climbers Coalition is dedicated to securing and protecting open public access to rock climbing in the Red River Gorge area, and promoting conservation of the environment on the lands where we climb. And our strategy in sort of the highest order is first to secure quality rock climbing opportunities, whether it's public or private. And if it's private and we can secure it through ownership or an agreement, that's ideal. And if it's on public, it's going to be advocating for continued open public access. We want to make climbing sustainable for climbers and for the environment, and that is particularly important on our lands as the number of users has increased over the past 10 or 15 years. Providing exemplary stewardship of the natural environment and the lands we climb. We want our climbing community to take ownership, and that really speaks to that fourth bullet there, that we want to help educate the community so that climbers take ownership of their behavior and their impact on the land. So our mission is focused on in three sort of functional areas: access and acquisition. So continued access to public lands, new access to public lands, acquisition of climbing areas, properties, access to private areas. Conservation and stewardship, so management of our properties from both a sustainability perspective and a conservation perspective, and working with the Forest Service or other private landowners for conservation and stewardship work. And then education, DEI, and outreach. We've got a couple of programs that we're working on there that we'll get to in a bit later. More operational committees are fundraising. So how do we raise the funds that we need to fund our objectives? How do we pay off our mortgages, which we've done in the past? How do we acquire new property? How do we get funds for that? Events and sponsorships, that's focused on running our Oktoberfest and our other major events. operations, focusing on our internal operations. How do we handle the accounting, our legal, our insurance, all of the other things that we need to do for the nonprofit to function. Filing our tax return, 990, etc. Marketing and communications, that committee is focused on our outreach and communicating important dates, messages that come from the other committees, and sort of general messaging from the coalition. And then the governance committee is focused on building the board, taking in and elevating the level of work we do, and finding and building up new board members. So for 2022, I'm going to run through a few of our strategic focuses, particularly on the functional areas. So on access and acquisitions, we'd love to have commitment on new climbing access. We've got a handful of open opportunities, and I would say 2 of them are very strong and could result in opening a lot of new rock climbing in the area. Some of it has existing climbs, and some of these things are new climbs. We want to improve our outreach and communication with private landowners. There's a lot of climbing that's not on Forest Service land and not on coalition land and not on Muir Valley, or drainage for that matter, where we want to do a better job of understanding who owns that property and communicating and building a relationship with those landowners. We want to work on educating the public a bit better on bolting and route development issues, particularly outside of our property and in the U.S. Forest Service area, and work on implementing and improving a process for new route development on RRGCC land. Conservation and stewardship. This project has been underway and is probably close to completion, if not fully complete, but doing some major repairs to the Coal Bank Road, which is access to the dark side Gold Coast, that area. Additional pit toilet installation, and we're looking at both Coal Bank and drive-by. And we've got some major plans to do a crag overhaul at Chica Bonita. On the education, DEI, outreach area of our sort of functional objectives, we want to continue to grow and fundraise for Climb Late and other DEI initiatives. Continue our Jim and Craig program. We've had a couple that we've hosted already this year, and we've done a virtual one, and we'll continue to have more Jim and Craig programs throughout the year. And then finally, develop and support equitable access and diversity in climbing, both in our community and on the board. So I think with that, I'm going to turn it over to Billy to talk through our membership program, give an update on what happened last year, and how things are progressing this year.
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, so the 2021 was our first year for the official RRGCC membership, and it was really well received, which was awesome to see, and really just a testament to our community here around the Redwood Gorge and beyond. You can kind of see how the tier system was laid out, and I'll put the membership page link in the chat as well, so if anybody who isn't a member can go look at that later as well. And yeah, it was good to see that a lot of the people who signed up were tier 2 and 3 predominantly, which was great. And this membership really allows us to have a better idea of how to, budget our annual operational budget and things like that, seeing it throughout the year with our monthly members and other contributions. It gives us kind of a better idea rather than, a singular in-person fundraiser event like Rocktoberfest. And it also allows us to engage with the community a little bit better. You can see all of our great membership sponsors there. We have a few new ones this year, Gnarly Nutrition, and then Red River Gorgeous also hopped on, and Eclipse Camper Vans also bumped up their contribution to the sponsorship. And one note is that Miguel's sponsorship did expire last year, so anybody who was a member and still has that little membership card, unfortunately that doesn't work for their discount anymore. And you can see the new shirts there as well for this upcoming year, and we really look to try to grow this member base as much as we can. So anybody on here that isn't a member, maybe consider signing up, and if you have friends that you know that aren't members, maybe talk them into doing it as well. Next up, the Economic Impact Study. Some of you may have been at Dr. Maple's presentation of his findings in the Economic Impact Study last year, but we'll just kind of give a high-level overview of what he found. And so this was a follow-up study to the first one that he did in 2015, and it found that the annual spending had bumped up to $8.7 million in the region annually, which is over a $5 million increase from 5 years prior, which is pretty incredible to see, and kind of shows how much climbers have been coming to this area. Climbing has grown, and how much they spend in the local economy. And as you can see on there's 102,000 climber visits a year. It's pretty incredible. And I'll also put the full report link into the chat as well if anybody wants to look at that a little bit more.
Thanks, Billy. I'm going to turn it over to John Bruns, our chair of our Access Committee, to speak through what we've got going on there.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. As far as the first slide, mostly we're just looking at the amount of routes that have been put up in Red River Gorge and what properties they're on. A little over half are on our RRGCC property, and then the next would be Forest Service and Muir Valley and a little sliver of private. Moving on to the next slide. Jeremy kind of touched on most of our goals for this year, but I think some of the things that we got taken care of is the Foxtown lease. We got extended for another 4 years. So the portion of Foxtown that we have a lease on is secured for that period of time. We also worked out or made comments on the U.S. Forest Service Management Plan that we worked with the Access Fund and advocate for trail access, support for education, and to help maintain the climbing that we have on Forest Service land. The other thing that we are working on is a bolting and route development MOU. We're just trying to get a better handle of what routes are being put up and make sure that the routes that are being put up are being put up in a sustainable way. So those are kind of the highlights of what we got going on.
All right. Turn it over to you, Curtis, for conservation and stewardship.
So, first slide here just gives us some basic statistics of what we as the coalition own and are taking care of. One of the big things is last year we were able to, with the pandemic easing, been able to put in over 1,300 hours of trail work, which was pretty equivalent to what we had done in the past in 2019 and such. Next slide. Main things about 2021 in terms of things we got done is we had some emergency work that had to be done due to floods on Middle Fork. We got a grant which helped with that. We also worked on trying to improve some of the bridges over at Soar Hill, specifically getting to the Shire area. We've been working on slowly improving the terrace situation at Chocolate Slabs so that the rope does not slide down the gully as you're trying to lay on that second route. We got the second toilet in at Ball Rock. We've been doing various erosion controls at places across PMRP, MFRP, and at Ball Rock Recreation Reserve also. We've also been doing some new trail layouts, and also for this year we're planning on some new trails to alleviate some sections of trails that have started to fall apart. As part of the plan for this year, we talked about already, the Coal Bank Road, have been working on that. One of the big things that's coming up this year is that we got a grant with the Access Fund from Athletic Brewing, which will allow us to have a Access Fund team out here for 3 weeks. We're going to take full advantage of that to get some work done in PMRP and also have them help out with Giant Alex, which I'll make a plug for right now, is the weekend after Father's Day, Saturday after Father's Day. We're going to do it this year as a one-day event instead of multiple trail days. We're continuing to work on some other structural improvements like bridges at Colbank, and planning on putting a second pit toilet in at some point. And just as always, just maintenance in general across the property. One thing I would love to have people do is to take advantage of on the website where it says trail issues people see, is to email that to us so they can know anything as simple as a tree down, or that the trail looks like it's getting to fall apart, or there's other issues. Please let me know.
Thanks, Curtis. I'll turn it over to Brianna and talk about education, DEI, and outreach.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeremy. Hey, everyone. Excited to talk about some of the things we have done in 2021 around education. DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion, and also our outreach efforts. And so I like to add in our values, because I think it's important to consider the value of world-class rock climbing opportunities found in and around the Red River Gorge as a national treasure, deserving of our best efforts to preserve for all climbers to enjoy, experience, and appreciate. With that in mind, so two of our big initiatives that we work on in this committee are our Jim McCragg and our Climate Initiative, which started last year. Many of you are probably familiar with our Jim McCragg education. So last year in 2021, we held 3 Jim McCragg presentations. We're kind of recovering from COVID and working with the gyms on that. Was a little difficult, but we got some stuff done, and we're excited about what's in store for this year. We also released a new version of our Jim McCragg presentation. So we revamped our curriculum, and really pleased with how that looks, and you can find that on our website. And we also received an education grant as well. So we have some things cooking, and we'll be releasing some videos around an education grant that we received. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And Climate is our second initiative that we have within this committee, and that is our gym initiative. You guys can read that little clip there if you want, and some noticeable and notable things from 2021. We had 14 events in 3 states and served over 300 individuals last year in 2021. We partnered with Climb Time Oakley, RockQuest, both gyms in Cincinnati. We partnered with North Mass Boulder in Indianapolis. We also partnered with LEF in Lexington, Kentucky. So those are the 4 gyms that we currently host our Climate Initiative. We received over $6,000 from AL81, MagTree, Climbing for Change, and just additional fundraising to be able to continue our Climate Initiative and build off of that with various other programs that we hope to do. And we presented the Climate program during the Access Fund Climbing Advocacy Conference, which was held the same weekend as Rocktoberfest. Jeremy, go to the next slide. So this video was captured. The Red River Gorge Climbers Coalition has an initiative called Climb Late, and we started this initiative this year to bring equitable access into rock climbing. We recognize that the gym to crag connection is strong, and we want to bridge that financial gap, and we also want to bring minority communities and those from marginalized communities into rock climbing, because we recognize that there is a gap there. So Climb Late exists to remove all financial barriers of access and entry into the rock climbing gym. We provide free climbing gear and free entry on a once-a-month basis, and Climb Time here in Cincinnati is one of the locations that we do that with. You know, our program started with funding from AL81, a soda company right here, that's living and breathing and alive and well here in the tri-state area, and you know, we're so thankful for that support, but we want to show them that we can grow and just what we can become because of the support they gave us to start this program. So tonight we are holding a raffle, a scarf shoe demo, and we have some free food to raise money to keep this program going in Cincinnati for all of 2022. And we're super psyched about it. sweet. So that was a video that Climb Time Oakley, one of our gym partners, captured for us during our Climb Light fundraiser that we held in September with partnership from Ground Up Collective, Scarpa, Power Company, just a number of different supporters and businesses in the industry. We were able to raise a significant amount of money towards Climb Late and other DEI initiatives that we have. So we wanted to show that to you all so you could see what impact our program is making. You can move to the next slide. Cool. So I just wanted to really quickly chat about what's in store for 2022. Let's see. Go to this next slide. Cool. So this little box up here on the top left is just our DEI statement that the coalition released last year. And I just wanted to show y'all just some of the pictures from some of our climate events and such a huge impact that our community has and is making with this initiative. So this year we have 16 climate events planned in 3 different states with 4 different gyms. And we also received a grant from Kai Leitner's nonprofit Climbing for Change to be able to bring a group of individuals from marginalized communities out and down to the Red River Gorge for the first time. So that is happening in April. And we're really excited to partner with one of our nonprofits, Adventure Crew here in Cincinnati, to bring a group of youth down to the Red to climb for the first time. And so with additional fundraising and money that we bring in with this committee, we hope to do 1 or 2 events like that every year where we can bring new climbers and folks from marginalized communities down to the Red that we enjoy and love so much to experience climbing for the first time. So just wanted to leave you with that and some photos and some happy folks enjoying climbing. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Brianna. Turn it over to Jake to give us an update on fundraising and events.
Yeah, my name's Jake. Just going over 2021 events, primarily, Rocktoberfest is our largest event of the year, and we weren't really sure how events were going to go last year. So very thankful that we were able to have Rocktoberfest in person. It turned out to be a huge success, especially coming off of a COVID year. We had over 1,400 attendees and almost 100 volunteers. So really can't thank you all enough for showing up and making the event what it is. We were able to celebrate the coalition's 25th anniversary and celebrate Bald Rock being paid off with a big check to Access Fund. So attendees, sponsors, everybody really showed up to make the event fantastic. We're already working on 2022 Rocktoberfest to try to make it even better. Hopefully we can get some more of the same films and presentations that we had last year that are listed there on the slide from, climbing initiatives. Sam Elias did a great presentation and then some awesome Rail Rock films. So yeah, hopefully we can get it up and going again for next year, for this year. And then Johnny and Alex Trail Day, again, was kind of a different event. Like Curtis mentioned, last year we had to separate it out to multiple days, but really, despite that, we had a great Johnny and Alex Trail Day, over 130 volunteers, 13 big projects. So really killed it in projects that we completed. And like Curtis mentioned, we're already preparing for this year. We already have that date set, like Curtis mentioned. So not mentioned in here is we have a lot of those small events like Climb Lake, Jim the Crags. We have the West 6 events every year. We have some Red River Reunion, which is coming up. Just a lot of these small events that we hope everybody can make it out to as well. We're trying to increase those small events in Louisville, Lexington, Cincinnati, and trying to get some more fun things going on for 2022. So be on the lookout for those in the coming months. But again, thank you all for making the events and fundraising possible. Last year was a great year for us. So thank you.
All right. So 2021, I think, will go down in the history books for many reasons. But one of which is that our supporters this year really stepped up, and we recorded our best year with support dollars totaling approximately $202,000, which represents a 99% increase over 2020 and a 66% increase over 2019. And the increase is largely driven by the launch of our membership program, which brought in approximately $36,000, followed by individual contributions at $40,000, corporate contributions at $12,000, and nonprofit at $7,600. And then continuing with that trend, we recorded one of our best years in regards to event revenue, totaling $81,000. Thanks in part to a successful Rocktoberfest with $27,000 in sponsorships and $49,000 in total event revenue. And due to the hard work of board members, generous donations from our supporters, the organization is in a financially healthy state so we can responsibly act on the potential opportunities John touched on earlier. And with, of course, with large increases in revenue come increases in expenses, totaling approximately $100,000 last year. And this was due to the start of membership programs, special events, and land management, of which our largest capital expenditure last year was our last mortgage payment, which I think everyone previously touched on a little bit, for Bull Rock Fork. And the organization had to take on an unplanned expense last year of approximately $15,000 to repair Miller Fork Road.
I'm just going to add a couple things to this. I've been on the board for 6 years, more than six, almost, just about 6 years. And the financial health of the organization has increased substantially over that time period. And during that time period, we purchased and paid off another piece of property. So I'm really excited for the financial health of the coalition to be able to spend money to do things like the Coal Bank road repairs. The total cost for that is going to be $13,000, $14,000. And while we did get a small grant from the Access Fund for $3,500 to help with that, we have been able to raise enough funds to be able to do some larger maintenance projects on our properties, and puts us in a very good position to be at the table if another acquisition becomes available. So, with that, I will pass it on to Nick just to run through some of our donors and sponsors and give a little shout out, I guess.
Yeah, thanks, Jeremy. I run the fundraising and membership committee. Membership's been a big contributor to our success this last year, but individual donations and corporate donations are equally as important, as you saw on the charts. I'd just like to take this time to let everybody see the people on the list here. I can't go through each and every one, but they're so very important because it's a source of revenue that we rely on. We're a nonprofit. And so we'll have events, we'll have membership programs, but these individual donations are also very significant and helpful in raising money for everything that we've just heard about. So thank you for all these folks. And if you're interested in donating, not just through the membership program, but individually, you can go to the website and donate individually. You can set it up on a monthly recurring donation. Or just as you feel inclined. If you have a fundraiser of your own and want to make a donation. So thank you so much to these individuals. I can't even say how helpful it is for us. But I guess corporate donations are next. I like to recognize them as well. And so corporate donations also. And if you have run a business or know of a business that you think might be a good fit or would like to contribute, we certainly recognize them and try to assist in getting their names out as best we can, whether it's on T-shirts or on our website or a collaboration through events. You can get to us by, the website's going to be the easiest, but fundraising at RRGCC.org is a way to email and say, hey, this business I think would like to have an event here. And we're always looking for partnerships. We're always looking for ways to get other brands on board. But certainly, these donors have really been the lifeblood of the steam of the engine for us. So thank you to all those folks.
Thanks, Nick. With that, we will turn it back over to Billy to go through some important dates, and then we'll do a Q&A.
Yeah, so we got Red River Reunion coming up this weekend. It's actually going to be kind of a two-parter this year. On Friday night, we'll have a little happy hour at Red Point Barbecue, kind of similar to what we did for Rocktoberfest last year. Maker's Mark will be there again, this time with laser etched glasses instead of those other ones that just melted off. So, and then Saturday will be the same normal Red River Reunion event at Miguel's. There will be a handful of sponsors and vendors there as well. And then, as Curtis said, Johnny and Alex Trail Day will be on June 25th this year. We're going to go back to the single day event, and that should be another fun time. We're probably going to plan to have it at Lago Linda's again. And then lastly, Rocktoberfest, October 7th through 9th this year. And then we have some other small events that will come up. You can just stay tuned on social media. I know that we have a West 6 trivia night in the works, and there's Climb Late events. There's one at LAF this Friday, and there's a bunch of other ones that you can see on the poster there scheduled throughout the year. Same thing with Jim to Crags. We're trying to do those at university groups and gyms and stuff like that. So just stay tuned on our social media, email blasts, etc. And now I'll open it up for any questions that anybody has. You can put into the chat, and we'll try to answer them to the best of our ability.
Sounds good. Thanks, Billy. So shoot away with questions, and certainly if you have a question you want to ask offline, there's an email address there that you can send that will come to the board. We can respond. So the first one here is not really a question, it's a comment, but it's from Mike Wilkinson. Mike is helping us with some video production work that we're doing with an video education grant that we received from the Access Fund. And he's looking for volunteers to be extras at our video shoot on the 6th and 7th of April. Mike, do you want to speak briefly to that and where that would be and how they would get in touch with you? You should be able to unmute yourself if you're able to. While we're finding out more from Mike on that, Art had a question about how well we did. How did we do so well in 2021 with the pandemic? And a couple of things here. First off, there was a surprisingly large amount of pent-up demand from our corporate sponsors. So corporate sponsors kind of shut down their corporate spending on marketing in 2020 during the depths of the pandemic. And then in 2021, when the reality was the economy didn't tank, they spent a lot. And so that was a big piece of it. We also qualified for a few subsidies from the Small Business Administration because of the drop in revenue that we experienced during that time frame that were grants that we did not have to pay back, and that totaled over $10,000, which was actually important because we had just brought on our executive director, and there was a lot of concern about where we're going to be able to meet our obligations around paying our mortgage, et cetera, at that time. And then the other thing I'll mention is that, I don't know if was the fact that the community as a whole had gone through this pandemic, but the amount of giving that we saw from individuals was also up substantially in 2021. So it came from all directions there. There's a question about the status of the arena. So for those who are unaware, Oil Crack and Arena are two crags that are west of Drive-By on the PMRP, in the PMRP area. They are not on our property. They're owned by an oil company called KYTX Energy. We have ongoing communication with them, so we are working on negotiating access. We don't have anything formal arranged at this point in time, but we've held several meetings with them, and that's one of the opportunities that's on the radar is access to that area. But I can't really say more than we're working with them at this point and have a good relationship, particularly compared to how the relationship has been in the past. Mike says he's not able to unmute, so the shoot is planned for April 7th, and they need about 4 to 6 climbers. They're meeting in the Motherlode parking lot area at about 9 a.m. His email is in the chat. It's Mike at wilkinsonvisual.com. Reach out to him or Billy if you can help. Art had another good question. Clarify the relationship between the RRGCC and the Access Fund and how it may or may not be evolving. So RRGCC is focused solely on impact that we can have in the Red River Gorge area of Kentucky. So we are focused on securing rock climbing in that area, and that's as far as we're going to go as far as our reach goes. I will say we sort of stepped a little bit out of our lane in assisting in the Foxtown area, but that was because it made sense. If Foxtown develops and grows into something that needs its own nonprofit, then that's going to have to be a separate entity. That's not our goal or objective. We're being a friendly neighbor on that. Relative to the Access Fund, nationwide organization that is focused on advocacy at the nationwide level. So, they're going to be advocating for rock climbing on Forest Service land, BLM land, public land, all across the country, and really are taking a much more nationwide perspective on it. Brianna, you being an Access Fund employee, would you want to speak any further to that?
No, Jeremy, I think that's great. I think the simplest way to put it is that our organization is focused on advocating for the Red River Gorge in Kentucky, and Access Fund is a nationwide advocacy organization. So we partner well, and we partner, and it's very healthy, and excited to see how it evolves and changes and grows. And yeah.
Great. Let's see here. Question from Daniel. Are there opportunities to volunteer to support the coalition aside from big events like Rocktoberfest and Trail Days? The answer is yes. So let's start from the most basic things you can do. One is being a steward of the land and being an upstanding member of the community. Can just be about how you carry yourself on coalition property, on National Forest Service property, etc. And so I think one way is just, approaching climbing and being outside with an ethic of stewardship and conservation is step one. Step two, you can attend trail days that are not the big giant trail days. Curtis organizes and manages trail days that go on throughout the year, and you can contact him directly at land manager at rrgcc.org, as well as some of those dates we posted on our website. I think the next step is obviously you can attend events, you be a donor, become a member. That certainly helps financially. After that, we have members of the community that are on our various committees. So we have committee members. So if you have a special area of expertise, for example, right now, we're in need of somebody who has bookkeeping experience and would be willing to donate time to help us with some of our bookkeeping. That's a need we have right now. So if you have an area of expertise, especially that you think could apply to our committees or even the operations of the board, with the organization, we're open to that. So that'd be another way. And if you want to get in touch with us on that, in this presentation, which we'll make available offline, are email addresses that go to each of the committee groups. You could also just send one to the main email there, rrgcc@rrgcc.org. Anybody else on the board want to speak to that before I move on? All right. Let's see. Are joint memberships still a thing like the Access Fund? The answer is yes. They never were a large donation source for the coalition, because the way that works is no matter how much, if you became a joint member of the Access Fund, no matter how much you donated to the Access Fund, $15 went to the coalition. So nothing's wrong with that program. We're not going to terminate it. Access Fund is fully in support of us having our own membership organization, a membership program. It is a way to allocate a portion of what you're donating to your local climate organization, and if you choose the Red River Gorge Climate Coalition, that's great, but that's why we had to step up and do the membership program. Let's see here. Has the RRGCC been involved in the Joshua Tree bolting debate? From attending the Access Fund information sessions, it seems like it would have large reaching impacts to the public lands. Billy, can you speak to that relative? I did not get to participate in that, but I know you did.
Yeah, I attended the Joshua Tree seminar that the Access Fund put on 3 weeks ago, and I was also in touch with the Access Fund about kind of their joint letter that they were putting in for, I guess, the Joshua Tree National Park, and so we signed on to that with them and pushed out, kind of what the Access Fund was putting out for, all of that information through our social media for our members to take a look, and also putting comments on that management plan. And I know I filled one out personally, and I'm sure some of the other board members did as well. But we're kind of, keeping an eye on that and seeing how it could play out and what effects it could have on, Clifty Wilderness here in the Red.
I think some good news is that as we responded to, in partnership with the Access Fund, to the proposed climate management, the proposed Forest Service management plan update for the Daniel Boone National Forest. What was being proposed by the Forest Service was very positive for climate. It included bringing in to the official trail system trails that are used to access a substantial number of the existing climbing walls, crags on Forest Service property. It did not include anything negative relative to Clifty Wilderness that wasn't already in place. In other words, no new routes, bolts, etc. So what's going on in Joshua Tree is certainly concerning, but on a local level here, things are actually very positive with the U.S. Forest Service. Biggest challenge the RRCC could see in the next 3 years. There's a couple. If you haven't noticed already, climbing has blown up, and that means that there are a lot more users on coalition property, and that means the impacts are going to be greater, and the impacts could range from conservation issues to problems with parking lots, trails, and infrastructure. So I expect that that's going to be an ongoing challenge for us. The second thing that I'll point out, and I'll turn it over to the rest of the board to speak to if they'd like to put in their 2 cents. But the second thing that I see happening is that with the growth of climbing, there is the potential for it to become more commercialized, and there is a lot of property in the Red River Gorge area right now that will likely change hands in the next 3 to 5 years. And if the coalition or similar organizations don't step up to make sure that we secure open public access, I'm concerned, and I think the coalition is concerned, that some of those areas could be lost to climate. So I think that's and it was less of an issue 15, 20 years ago because, climbing wasn't so mainstream. Now that it's more mainstream, if these pieces of property end up going to private organizations that charge for entry or commercialize it, that's something that I think we're concerned about. Anybody else on the board want to add to that? All right, let's see here. Questions for James?
Jeremy.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that as climbing gets more popular and the reg gets more notoriety, we are noticing an uptick in rogue bolters. And I can see that going further. And people need to recognize what land they're on, where they're at, and what the rules and regulations are for bolting, developing, that sort of stuff.
That's a good point, Adam, and that's part of what the access committee is going to be working on this year, is communicating more about that and the risks and problems associated with bolting on land that you don't have permission to bolt on. All right, so let's see here. James had asked a question regarding erosion outside of trails. Is there anything being done to address erosion caused by poor quality roots of many invasive plants in the area, hillside slopes? Curtis or Billy, you guys want to take that one?
I can take that one. So this is one of the areas that I'm kind of excited about with the formation of the committees that for conservation and stewardship. So we can start tackling kind of more issues that are not very specific in terms of hands-on, in terms of erosion control, but looking at things like this. One of the things we did have done last year by the Office of Kentucky Nature Reserves is they did come out and do a survey of the wildlife on our property and gave us a list of all the invasive species and things. So this is going to be a evolving subject as I try to work more with the committee and try to figure out what we want to do about this. But we own a lot of land, 1,700 acres, and that's a lot of acreage to try and remove some of these invasive species. So we have to kind of put our heads together and see what is the best bang for the buck, in a manner of speaking.
Okay. Follow-on question. Oh, here we go. Update on the corporate development of the resort. There's a second one that was asking about the resort. So my understanding is that the property that the resort would potentially go on has been purchased. So I think that's one of the first steps that organization or group is trying to move forward with. And that said, the funding associated with moving forward with the actual construction is not happened, and I don't know the timing and whether or not that's really going to happen, because the funding required to do the development is many orders of magnitude larger than what they spent on the property. That said, the fact that they bought that property is an example of one of the things that I think we're concerned about when I mention monetization and loss of potential access to rock climbing. The coalition's stance on that development is a bit neutral because our concern will be with what I mentioned, open public access and making sure that we do the best we can to advocate for rock climbing. Whether or not that development is good economically or for the community, I think we've tried to let the community speak to that as opposed to our organization, and we're going to be thinking about it relative to our mission statement, which is open public access, conservation of the land where we climb. And if we feel like we can interject or work with them on those pieces, we will. While Stantec, which was the company that was hired by that group to come up with the initial plans and recommended, design. We had a 2 hour meeting with them and voiced our concerns and, the importance of rock climbing, and maybe they considered that in their design, or they didn't, I don't know, ultimately, but we have been trying to work with them on that. Anybody else on the coalition want to speak to that further? Okay, we have a follow-up question on bolting. What, if any, measures are being taken to ensure preservation of cultural resources and avoid issues like Thirsting Skull, as continued land purchases are made and routes are developed? I guess I would ask Curtis or Brianna to speak to that, or maybe both of you.
I can take it to start with. So this is another thing that I've been thinking about with our committee now, since we have plenty of people, is I do know of on our property some cultural spots, and we don't officially have them marked or anything like that. But the question the committee we should be working with the committee to figure out how do we preserve these as the coalition. So this is kind of, to me, again, the next step for us as the coalition to not just working on protecting the blade bases, the landing zones and things of that nature, but also protecting the land itself in terms of what may be on the land, whether it be plants, cultural heritage, or anything of that nature. So it's on the thought process.
Yeah, I'll just follow up to say that Curtis's committee has taken on that responsibility, and I'm looking forward to the work that's going to be done there.
I don't want to pigeonhole Curtis into saying that's exactly what we're going to do, but I think that the concept of having a policy around how we handle those things is what we need to develop. And I think Curtis, you were the one who pointed that out, but I agree with that. It looks like I've covered all the questions. Did I miss anybody's question? And if not, let me know. Well, let's see, Billy, we're going to make this available. Copy this online. We'll have a copy of our annual report along with it. If you're interested in helping out with Coalition, we will be making future calls out to the community for committee members and future board members. Anything else you want to add, Billy, before we wrap this up?
Nope, I think that's it. Yeah, we'll have everything else out online and on social media to rewatch this and go through the annual report as well.
All right. Well, thanks for attending, everybody, and I hope to see you out at the crag.
Thank you all.